Initiative, GII, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, GACC, the Africa Center for International Law and Accountability, ACILA, and of course, multimedia platforms, Joy FM and Adum FM. So we're all over social media. On Facebook, we are Corruption Watch Ghana. On Twitter, we are Corruption Watch or at CW Ghana. On Instagram, look for Corruption Watch _GH. On YouTube, it's Corruption Watch Ghana. The website is corruptionwatchghana.org, and you can call or send us a WhatsApp on 055 22 000 33. Okay, that's 055 22 000 33. The hashtags, as always, hashtag Wanamoni and hashtag Ghana Abre. Now, Corruption Watch today is going to feature our anti-corruption school and also the From the Street segment. So let's say good morning to our distinguished guest for today, Dr. Isaac Nyami, who is a chartered tax practitioner and chartered certified accountant. He's a managing consultant of Icahn and Associates Limited. I hope I've said the name right. Icahn and Associates Limited. Good morning to you, Dr. Nyami.
Good morning.
So, we are told that the Ghana Revenue Authority estimates that about 60,000 professionals working in Ghana do not honor their tax obligations. These include lawyers, accountants, doctors, engineers, surveyors, architects, and many others. Now, are these professionals simply being corrupt by evading tax? On the other hand, are they engaging in tax avoidance, which is a question of morality rather than law? Well, here's Winston to help us with this conversation.
Well, so let's start from the beginning. In August this year, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta caused anxiety among lawyers when he claimed that 6,000 legal practitioners were not paying their taxes. However, the president of the Ghana Bar Association, Tony Forson, rebutted the minister's claim. He said there were only 3,000 lawyers in the country, so the minister had engaged in patent falsehood. Now, the matter didn't end there, because on Monday, President Akufo-Addo called on legal practitioners to pay their taxes. Yeah, he did. He said the record of lawyers in paying taxes has been historically poor. He further said it is unfortunate, but a most pleasant fact that members of the professions in our country have not been known to set a good example when it comes to the paying of taxes. The president chose the right forum to deliver the hefty moral blow to the learned fraternity. It was a 2021 Bar Conference of the Ghana Bar Association, which was held in Bolgatanga in the Upper East region. Interestingly, the conference was organized under the theme ensuring an increase in revenue mobilization through taxation for the purpose of accelerated national development. Here's more of what President Akufo-Addo said concerning professionals who are not paying taxes.
The professions in our country have not been known to set a good example when it comes to paying taxes. They appear to think that being members of the learned professions put them above complying with everyday civic duties, like paying taxes. It is embarrassing. The lawyers are often at the top of the list of those who flout our tax laws and use their expertise to avoid paying taxes. The Ghana Revenue Authority has told a disturbing story about what it discovered earlier this year when it started working with the Registrar General's Department and the National Identification Authority. It found that there are some 60,000 professionals working in the country who are totally outside the purview of the tax authorities. These professionals are lawyers, they are accountants, they are doctors, they are engineers, they are surveyors, they are architects. In other words, they are part of the creme de la creme of Ghanaian society, and they do not pay taxes. They will soon be receiving friendly phone calls from the tax authority. I sincerely hope that those involved would move swiftly to regularize their tax affairs before the GRA moves to crack the whip.
Now, that was President Akufo-Addo raising concerns about professionals not paying their taxes. The Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Adame expressed sadness that many lawyers are caught in the phenomenon of tax evasion as they unjustifiably avoid being caught in the tax net either by understating their profits or concealing their true income. He also said the luxurious lifestyles of lawyers in riding in the most plush of vehicles and acquiring top-end properties are hardly commensurate with the amount of taxes they pay. In addition, he made an equally important point when he said, "I must admit that the failure of lawyers in Ghana to discharge their full tax obligation is not entirely their fault. The absence of effective systems by the Ghana Revenue Authority to ensure that all potential taxpayers are brought into the tax net is majorly responsible." Let's hear more from Mr. Yeboah Dame.
A major flaw with our tax system is a phenomenon described in popular parlance as tax evasion. It is that situation of citizens and persons working in Ghana dodging their tax obligations, either by completely avoiding coming within the tax bracket when they ought to be, or deploying illegal means to minimize their tax liability through fraudulent techniques. This practice, to say the least, it is loyal to the state. Sad to say, many lawyers are caught in the phenomenon of tax evasion as they unjustifiably avoid being caught in the tax net, either by understating their profits or concealing their true income. The luxurious lifestyles of certain lawyers, riding in the most plush of vehicles and acquiring top-end properties, are hardly commensurate with the amount of taxes they pay. I entreat lawyers to honor their fullest of their tax obligations, as not to do is not only criminal, but also borders on a gross violation of professional rules. The legal professional code of professional conduct and etiquette rules requires lawyers to demonstrate the highest level of ethical behavior and integrity at all times. In practice, this implies that lawyers are required to be ethical watchdogs in the corporate world. We will have to pay our taxes in addition to walking away from clients who insist on engaging in the criminal act of tax evasion, contrary to good counsel. I would suggest that the bar should, as part of the criteria for publication of lawyers in good standing every year, require evidence of fulfillment of tax obligations. I must admit that the failure of
Surely, those comments by the Attorney General, Mr. Yeboah Dame, at the Bar Conference on Monday sets the context for today's conversation on the Corruption Watch Show. And we're having a conversation on corruption in taxation. Now, before our guest comes in, we want to also draw your attention to the following few details. In analyzing the 2020 budget statement and economic policy, Sen Ghana raised concerns that Ghana's tax revenue as a percentage of GDP was worsening. The following numbers back the claims. The tax revenue as a percentage of GDP hovered around 16.9 and 16.5 respectively for 2017 and 2018. It then declined sharply in 2019 to 13.1%, recording the lowest among the 3 years. Essentially, tax revenues to GDP in Ghana is below the required threshold of about 22 to 25%, median tax to GDP ratio worldwide of 36%, 19% in Africa, and 22% in Latin America, and 34% in the OECD. According to the Auditor General, public boards and corporations cost the country about 29.2 million Ghana cedis in tax revenue because of failure to pay statutory tax deductions on due dates and non-deduction of applicable taxes. Some even transacted business with non-VAT registered persons or entities.
Well, okay, let's get started on Anti-Corruption School. And to help us deeper understand these issues, it's my pleasure once again to welcome Dr. Isaac Nyami. He's a chartered tax practitioner, chartered certified accountant, and managing consultant of Icon and Associates Limited. Dr. Nyami, let's dig right in. Generally, what are your views about the levels of tax compliance in Ghana?
Thank you very much. The culture for tax compliance in Ghana is abysmally low. Various reasons could account for this, but the average person doesn't want to pay tax, and which is quite disturbing because we want everything for ourselves: good roads, hospitals, everything that is good for life. We need all of that for ourselves, and but we cannot also continue to borrow money to do all that for ourselves, because when we borrow money, we would have to pay, and we will pay with tax money. So ultimately, we come back to the same where we started, that we need tax to be able to develop. And so the culture is not good. Over the years, from if I remember as far back after the economic recovery program in this country, the attitude towards payment of tax has not been, I mean, the various administrations have come and encouraged and tried to encourage tax payment, but it's not been too good.
But why is it not too good? What is wrong with the culture?
The first and foremost, people just want to remain outside the tax bracket. In other words, the tax net. They don't want to come because they feel that, okay, when they come into the tax net, then it seems like not everybody is paying. For whatever reason, that what makes them feel that not everybody is paying is another thing altogether. But people just don't want to pay tax.
Yeah, but should it be a choice as to whether I want to be part of the tax bracket or not?
No choice at all. It's
Exactly.
not. Yeah. So it is. I mean, tax is the creation of law, and the law is very clear as to who the taxpayer should be, what sort of income should be taxed, what sort of expenditure should be taxed. Everything is very clear in the law. People buy water, maybe bottled water, they would have paid tax without noticing that they have paid some tax. So it's fairly simple to manage with the indirect taxes, because it's more of expenditure tax, because you go and buy the thing and nobody asks you, gives you a bill for the tax separately. But when it comes to income tax, that's where the problem is, because apart from employees whose taxes are exacted right from the time of payment by their employers, of course, the law has engaged or has actually appointed employees to be withholding agents.
Yes.
So they will take the tax from the employees. And apart from employees, which is so easy to tax, the other taxes like business tax, because we have three sources of income which are subject to tax. Tax from the income from business, investments, and employment. And employment is very easy to manage. But when it comes to business, and business, to looking at the content of what constitutes business, you look at profession, where the lawyers and accountants, and you see you have profession. Business is part of profession. Then we have vocation, and you can see that the tailors, the mechanics, and all of those people also fall in that category. So trade, the buy and sell group of people, or commercial people who are into commercial activity or buying and selling. This is the component of the of people who actually are required to pay tax, business income tax.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, dealing with these three group of people, even though the professionals, of course, the profession where the lawyers and the accountants, doctors, etc., come from, DS is very up there because of the fact that they are into specialized area of their career. When it comes to when it comes to tailors and the rest, the artisans, that one too, there are special problems in taxing them.
The president and the attorney general are both talking about these professionals, 60,000 of them who are not paying.
And Winston asked the question about should it be a choice?
It's not.
It shouldn't be a choice. But there must be something about how we implement taxation policy in Ghana that makes some people able to treat it as a choice. What is it? What's the problem with our implementation of taxation policy that allows some people to choose whether or not to pay?
At the bottom of all this is enforcement of the penalty regime. The enforcement of the penalty regime. A few weeks ago, when the IGP came into office, the new IGP came into office, you can see his body language. He's done a few things quickly, and it looks like people are getting to sit up. Taxation without enforcement cannot work. It has to work. Whether you are a lawyer, and the tax law, when it gives some kind of incentive, it identifies the areas that it wants to incentivize. So if the incentive is not available to you, there's no point taking advantage of any incentive as far as the tax law is concerned. It's very clear in the law that people are supposed to comply with the law. And when they fail to do that, then the GRA will have to put itself together and get hold of them.
But another question also
yes.
is, how do you know they are not complying? Do we have what it takes to know that this person has not complied with the law?
It's possible to know. First and foremost, you know that every business, like I mentioned, profession, vocation, or whatever, they need to register, first of all, at the Registrar General's Department.
Exactly.
At the point of registration, the person identifies themselves. The persons identify themselves. And they are given a tax identification number, which is now being replaced by the Ghana card. So from there, it's possible to pick up people who have registered to do business.
But how do you know his earnings?
Okay, so then the person under the law requires that such a person should actually walk to the GRA and register, providing additional information at the GRA. And a GRA which is very nearby his or her office. Okay, so then from there, then they begin to then comply with the law, as in filing of returns and filing of documents for GRA.
If I do not walk to the nearest GRA office?
So you remain outside the bracket.
If I do not file my returns?
Then GRA has nothing to base the assessment on.
Great. So the question is, are these not the challenges we are faced with clearly? Because there should be a way of having everybody in. So every payment that is made in this country should be traced in such a way that I can know that you have been giving this amount of money, you have been giving that amount of money. And so in actually filing your tax, then it gets to, the other aspect of it, but not you deciding not to show up at all.
Yeah, I guess we are getting there. We don't have that system to be able to track all of the payments that come to individuals or to businesses and things like that. And sometimes, and even if you look at our current tax system, where we are incomes taxable in Ghana are incomes that are on worldwide basis, whether you earn the income here in Ghana or outside the country. And even so, the question then also comes whether the incomes that are earned outside the country, whether the people voluntarily disclose it in Ghana. And so it is under the law the obligation of the payer of the tax or the taxpayer to disclose all of these things, and a kind of a contract, social contract between, what I call it social contract, a contract between the GRA and the taxpayer, that since we are under self-assessment, the system is a self-assessment, go and disclose your affairs to the GRA, and if you don't know how to go about calculating the taxes, then GRA will assist you, or your tax consultants will assist you. Unfortunately, people don't go forward to pay to disclose all of this information about themselves, which makes it very difficult to get hold of them, except through a tax audit. Except through a tax audit. That then means that the tax audit system must be well organized, such a way that they can go after people who are failing to come into the domain of the GRA.
One of the important things about taxation also is that it fits into the country's fiscal policy.
Yeah.
And all of the things we do, because all the things you're thinking about, all your expenditure is geared on how much you're able to generate, through domestically, and then what you can borrow.
Correct.
Now, how does the non-compliance to our tax laws and the payment of taxes affect the country?
Seriously, it really is very worrying. It really adversely affects the country. And strangely, the thing is, it doesn't matter which political governance system we have. Whether whichever political party that is in power, they need money to develop. They need money to do things that they need to ordinarily do for the people of Ghana. And so they are unable to do things that they promised to do. Basically, that is what it is. If there are no hospitals, why should we be borrowing money also to be able to build hospitals? Why should we be borrowing money to do roads? Whilst in other countries, they are able to organize money from their tax money, their tax system, to do all of these things for themselves. Just imagine a country like Denmark. Denmark has a population of not more than 6 million people or something. They are able to collect taxes, and they are able to give us some of their money as to improve upon our water and sanitation situation in this country. Meanwhile, we are about 31 million people, and we are unable to do this for ourselves, which is rather unfortunate, And so it is part of it is to let people know from our school system, from our wherever, our churches, from wherever, to know that taxation is something that, just as they pay importance to paying tithe and all of those kind of arms, they need to also pay tax as such, and so that government can run well. And we will be the net beneficiaries of whatever programs that the government put in place.
If you just joined us, this is Corruption Watch. We're talking to Dr. Isaac Nyami. He's a consultant, and we are learning about the phenomenon of tax evasion and avoidance, which the president has raised concerns about when he spoke to lawyers at the Ghana Bar Association. Apparently, over 60,000 professionals across various disciplines are just not paying tax. Dr. Nyami, if you refuse to pay tax, you're either avoiding it or evading it. Help us understand the difference, and help us understand which one perhaps dominates in the concerns that the president is raising.
Okay. So let's talk about tax evasion. Tax evasion is illegal, is unlawful, and the law really upholds that. Tax evasion involves a number of things, like falsifying documents that are supposed to be submitted to the revenue authority. It's like providing wrong information to the revenue authority, failing to even register when you are supposed to register under the law, basically hiding some income that you should have disclosed and you are failing to disclose that, not recording everything properly for purposes of tax examination. And so the list is endless. In fact, the list is endless. In terms of avoidance, there are two ways of looking at avoidance. There are certain concessions in the tax law itself which makes room for people to want to arrange their affairs in such a way that they don't have to pay high taxes, or they don't have to pay taxes at all. For instance, you might want to enter into a particular industry, and for the first 5 years of entering into that particular industry, the company is not supposed to pay any tax. So there's a kind of period where the system allows you to settle down and run your business for a couple of years. Then after that, you are introduced to tax payment, and you start paying taxes. So it depends on the industry you enter into. It depends on perhaps where you are located. It depends on whether you are into farming or poultry or a number of areas that the tax law provides for. Then there are also the other aspect of tax avoidance, where basically in the tax law, there are a few things there that actually make room for people to arrange their affairs in a way that they will not pay more taxes. So that is legally provided also. But then even the same tax law has made sure it has provided anti-tax avoidance arrangements, such a way that even though there are opportunity for reducing your tax liability or minimizing your tax liability or deferring your tax liability, that opportunity is not used unnecessarily to be able to deny government revenue from tax. So you have that kind of arrangement also, where there's anti-tax avoidance. But there are other things that people do, which can also, basically help them to make reduce more tax liability. For instance, you buy assets which you want to use for business, and like where we are now, where you buy a number of assets, the gadgets I see around, and these things must attract capital allowance. So,
and when you say capital allowance, what do you mean? Capital
allowance is just a system of allowing you to recover the cost of the assets over the period that the assets will be in use. Yeah, over a certain period of time. So, for instance, some of the assets, like these ones I see around, if they are computers and data handling equipment, they will attract capital allowance at the rate of 40% per annum. So within 1.5 years, you have recovered the cost of it. And it's basically hit against the taxable profit in order to make sure that the tax that is payable is low, or is less. And so we have capital allowance. We have several other areas in the law that when you arrange your affairs very well, you have papers to support all of that. Then the tax law has some level of reprieve for you. And so there is this the aspect of tax avoidance that is not unlawful is the ones that are provided in the tax law itself.
We'll get to that. We'll get to the treatment of it. That's briefly. I mean, without getting into so much into the technicalities of it. But so we can understand. So we can understand it very well. How one could use that to his advantage. How the system can also, beat this attempt to use it to one's advantage. But that will be after these few messages from our partners.
Okay.
What would you do if you have the choice to do anything in life? Build your dream house, take very good care of your family, and plan for a comfortable retirement. Plan a befitting funeral for your loved ones when they depart. How would you live if you knew there was a friend waiting to support you on all of your life's choices?
You have such a friend in Glyco Life Insurance. Glyco Life has all the plans to meet your life's needs. Your child's education, your life savings, your mortgage, funerals, redundancy, and your retirement, and takes the burden off your shoulders. So go ahead and live life to the fullest today with Glyco Life Insurance plans. And remember that all our policies are hedged against inflation. Talk to Glyco Life on 0302 218 500 or 246 142. Also visit our website at www.glycolife.com or any of our branches nationwide for more information.
Glycolife, we cushion you for life.
Glyco, we cushion you for life.
The boys are back, oh! The boys are back! Imagine inviting great footballers like Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe into your home. Imagine feeling the big mad temperament of football's fiercest rivals in your living room. Imagine enjoying the home ground advantage of witnessing the best of Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, UEFA Europa, and many more leagues all in English. Or stop imagining. Just get a GoTV decoder now at 89 Ghana cedis and upgrade to GoTV Max to turn your home into the home ground of great football. To purchase a new decoder, SMS GoTV to short code 1731. GoTV. Love it.
Drama from day one.
Patrick,
Yes.
your fridge, it's been working so well for years now.
Because I bought the fridge from Electroland, my only correct fridge. Electroland is showing massive love to their customers. It's called EGL Rewards. Great discounts on all their electronic and home appliances, plus freebies this September. I'm so interested that I can even tell you all the prices of head. Nasco, Media, Toshiba. Let's go.
So, Nasco TV, 32 inches.
999 Ghana cedis.
Nasco air conditioner.
That starts at 1,799.
Nasco fridge.
That is 1,499.
My grandma loves media washing machines.
Yes, media washing machines start at 1,999.
So what of Toshiba microwave?
That is 499 Ghana cedis with the same high quality.
Oh, EGL Rewards is awesome.
EGL Rewards this September.
My name is Kwame Sefakain. You see, the feeling is always good when you receive a salary alert. And so, I'm making a bold decision to invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual retirement salary. This means I'll get these alerts every month and throughout my retirement period. Life should be comfortable, even after retirement. Me feel ahotonkwa.
Invest a lump sum today in the Old Mutual retirement salary and enjoy guaranteed monthly income for life, funeral cover, and the option of signing on with a spouse. Please call Old Mutual today, 050-453-4333. Old Mutual, 176 years of doing great things.
Do great things.
Wow, wow, wow. Hope you have heard, rent to own now in Ghana. The Flan City Extension Project Rent to Own Land and House Ownership Scheme by the Ningo Prampram District Assembly and its partners, supported by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the UN Habitat, are right here in Ghana. So be smart, because where you trade and live really matters. Apply now and own a home or a fully serviced land. Wait a minute, don't forget to join our affiliate housing cooperatives also.
also. Special offers last up to October 31st, 2021. Call us on 055 55 30 300 or 0577 911101 and 055 70 54 635. Website newaccra.city. Planned City Extension Project, shaping Ghana's urban future.
Why do you allow coughs, cold, and flu to ruin your happiness? You need Summerlin cough syrup. Summerlin cough syrup will relieve you and your family from coughs, cold, and flu. Summerlin offers a whole range that provide relief for the entire family. Insist on your Summerlin in pharmacies and licensed chemical shops. Summerlin cough syrup from Danex Itin Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
What you say now?
Coffee in your cup. Enjoy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet. On Joy 99.7 FM.
Welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM, and today on Corruption Watch, our guest, Dr. Isaac Nyami, is helping us understand the intricacies of tax evasion and avoidance. And these are two things which the president is certainly concerned about when it comes to professionals, because according to him, too many of them are either evading or avoiding tax. Sonotech Medical and Diagnostic Center is officially announcing the opening of their third branch at the West Hills Mall on Monday, the 13th of September 2021. This will be their biggest branch and will provide a wide range of diagnostic services and an unforgettable patient experience. Services include MRI scans, CT scans, 2D, 3D, and 4D ultrasound, ECG, echocardiogram, dental x-rays, general and specialist consultation, and health screening packages. Services will be provided on a 24-hour basis, including holidays and weekends. So go visit their third branch at the West Wing of the West Hills Mall, or contact them via the call center, which is on 024 243 9467. Or you can send a WhatsApp to 057 298 5665. Sonotech, we are your total healthcare partner for life.
And it's the 12th edition of the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair, powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats. The fair is under the theme Home Ownership to Build or to Buy. Join us as we help you resolve the to build or buy dilemma with the second mini clinic at the West Hills Mall from Saturday the 18th to Sunday the 19th of September 2021 from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And you can follow us on our social media platforms with the hashtag Joy Habitat Fair. For inquiries, call 0546908179 or 0540110389. The EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats, rent to own, and sponsored by Elegant Homes and General Construction, where quality meets value. Duraplast, where Duraplast goes, water flows. DBS Industries Limited, where truly are your roofers first. Renters Paradise, we help people and properties find each other. EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair, everything housing.
Now, Surfline is expanding its coverage. So if you live in and around Weja, McCarthy Hill, Kaswa, Millennium City, Budumbrim, Kokrobite, and its environs, Surfline has opened a new shop inside the West Hills Mall to help serve you better with simple, fast, and efficient customer care that saves you time. Surfline is the best way to stay in touch. Don't get left behind. Surfline is right there at the West Hills Mall, open daily from 10 a.m. Surfline, better together. Now, just before we took the break, we were learning about how tax avoidance works. And one of the great examples that we're given, something that I want us to pick up from, this idea that, of course, if you own property or an asset, it loses value, and the taxation system will allow you to retain or recover some of that value. So let's use an example. Let's say you have a company car. How does that work?
Yeah, so for the company and the tax allowance or the capital allowance we're talking of here, the person must own the asset. In other words, the company must own the asset. And the company can then recover the cost, in the investment by way of the purchase price of the car over a period of time. So for cars like this, in other words, they can recover 30% each year. Each year, they are recovering 30% until the cost of the car is written off against the profits. Right. And then in order that they can reduce their tax liability by that arrangement. Okay. And so, yes, we have, this one is provided for in the law, and the law actually supports it in a way that companies are not do not suffer for undertaking business. Sometimes also you see that in the law you have things like the law permits you a company to locate in a particular place. For, let's say a water sachet company. That is basically under the law they are manufacturers of water. And that such a company, if it's located within Accra, a manufacturer located within Accra, will have to pay a corporate tax of 25%. But if it's located outside Accra, let's say Dodowa, then the tax rate is halved by 12.5%. In other words, by 50%. So it becomes 12.5%. So these are things that are also in the law that help people to make business decisions as to where to locate their manufacturing businesses. I've had the occasion of going to defend a client sometime around the Kumasi area there. And they were located, actually they were into these water manufacturing businesses, and they were located completely outside, very close to the KNUST. Then I found out that the tax office had used 25% to calculate the company tax liability. And then on interrogation, I noticed that area was actually outside the zone, the regional capital, Kumasi. In other words, they were located in a place which was not in the regional capital, but they were a manufacturing company. And so then through discussion, they had to reduce their tax liability, or they had to charge 12.5% as their corporate tax liability instead of 25%. And so there are pockets of opportunities in the tax laws that businesses take advantage of. And that is provided for in the law. There are other ones which, even though are there, the tax law itself provides that businesses cannot, for instance, take advantage of it unduly. For instance, when loans are given to a company, the company will have to pay interest on the loan. That interest is tax allowable. In other words, they can use it to reduce their tax liability. However, if the loan is coming from a related party, a company that is related to the company that the borrower is related to by way of shareholding of the company, the directors are both directors of the company that is lending and the one that is borrowing. Then there's an issue that we'll call thin capitalization. Thin capitalization is supposed to prevent you from using all the interest that you are paying on the loan, and in setting up against your taxable profit. So there's a limit of how much interest that can be used to reduce your taxable profit. So there are a number of them like that in the law, and that is not wrong. It is not more, like you said, morality. It's not an issue of morality because the law actually provides for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But which would you say is a bigger problem in Ghana, tax evasion or tax avoidance?
I think tax evasion. But you see, the ignorance of the law too, because many people also don't understand the law. The law appears quite complex to the SMEs. You see, if you go to the SMEs, the average SME does not really know what taxes they should be paying. That is a problem that have to be dealt with through education. And that aspect, the GRA must actually structure itself in a way that they can educate a lot of people regarding those aspects. But if the evasion aspect, where especially the accountants, the lawyers, where they are not disclosing their full income and reporting that to the GRA, it means government is losing a lot. It's losing a lot from potentially what they could have earned a lot of money from. Okay, so that is that aspect that is more serious.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the GRA structure is not able to capture, until there's an audit. They just allow them to flow with whatever they are doing, which is not really the right thing to do.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the other problem. If government wants to tackle this issue of tax evasion and avoidance, because there is a moral issue of avoidance there as well, so government might want to limit the amount of avoidance that is possible. So if government wants to tackle this, bearing in mind how many of these professionals, that the president was mentioning, are actually in the middle class, the what's it called, the most influential group in Ghana. How does the president or how does the government address this problem without upsetting the cart?
The GRA would have to do this because that's their mandate, and the GRA must be very bold in their efforts. So the whole thing starts with education, engaging with the people. Because it's possible. I mean, a few years ago, the GRA was engaging with these guys, the celebrities, the entertainment industry, and I think I've once heard the GRA guys in this studio talking about the entertainment industry with the industry players. You have to engage the industry players. Let them know the position of the law as far as their businesses are concerned. Now, if they know they have a knowledge of what is expected of them, because what I deduced then was that they didn't know that they were even supposed to pay tax on their income that they earn from their entertainment activities. And so, first of all, engage with the professional body that the group of people belong to. If you are talking about the Ghana Bar Association, they are very organized people. So it is possible to engage with them and have seminars and at least have a plan of rolling them into the tax law. Because as for the lawyer, he can actually decide not to. There's a way he can manage himself such a way that his activities are not noticed by the GRA. Accountants, for instance, all lawyers are supposed to register for VAT. Okay, and so they're supposed to issue VAT invoices.
Yes.
Okay, and if they don't go and register with the GRA for VAT, they will not be issued VAT invoices. It is unlawful to issue your personal invoice to a client. But the question is, how many of them really?
Yeah, but so the point is, if you issue VAT invoices, you must file returns. And so we'll know, for instance, how much you have. And that'll take me to one thing. Shouldn't we be linking their renewal to their filing of tax, for instance? So when you come and there's no evidence that you have done that, we don't renew our license for you. So we know, for instance, that this is what you've done.
Thankfully, that's a very good question. Thankfully, the system now, the law has been introduced that you cannot renew your practicing license. And it applies to, in fact, ICA Ghana, it applies to the Chartered Institute of Taxation, of which I'm a member of both. It applies to the legal profession that you cannot come and say you are renewing your license to practice if you do not have a tax clearance certificate. As to whether they have started from the association point of view, like the professional body point of view, whether they have been able to get that thing done, because I recall when I was going to renew mine, they didn't ask me of tax clearance certificate, but I have renewed. Okay, I have renewed. So this is the, like I said from the beginning, that the enforcement of these things. There's a law that says that you don't renew their practicing licenses and whatever license they need to be able to continue business. Don't renew until they show evidence of tax payment, and the evidence of tax payment is a tax clearance certificate. And so the question is, are we enforcing that aspect of the law? And when we do that, then everybody will do the right thing.
It's obvious we are not enforcing it because you have renewed with that. checking your tax clearance certificate. So
Yeah.
that's not being enforced.
Yeah.
Now, perhaps the most popular business model among these professionals that the president is referring to would be consultancy. A lot of them do consultancy.
It's true.
So if they're not paying taxes, then does this point to some deficiency in our withholding tax system?
The law provides that the payer of the money must withhold the tax. And in fact, if the payer does not withhold the tax, the law says that the GRA should take the money from the payer. And so, in terms of the law, I just think these are human factors. If a lawyer tells you or an accountant tells you, I don't want you to withhold my tax, and you two don't know that, or maybe either you know or you just decide that the lawyer says I shouldn't withhold the tax, and that the GRA will not see it. And it's possible that the GRA may not audit the taxpayer for several years. So you find that, I mean, it is not an issue with the tax system per se, but just the issue of the people dealing with themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I want us to wrap up with this. And by the way, if you just joined us, we're talking to Dr. Isaac Nyami. We're talking about tax and tax evasion avoidance. The president is very concerned about it. This is how I want us to wrap up. We have less than 30 seconds to go. But just your recommendation of the first step government should take to address this problem.
The first step, there must be massive tax education across the country. Tax education across the country. When that has been done, then the next thing is make sure and communicate across into various groups and everything. Communicate in terms of pamphlets and in terms of handouts of this sort of handouts across. Let them get understanding of the tax law. Now the next thing is to move into move and connect to them and assess them to tax, because there must be a lot of effort to get to these people. The other thing is identification of the taxpayers, because remember we are even talking about persons. Now what about the people who do business on by e-commerce?
Yeah.
Okay, there are a lot of opportunity to tax in this country, but because GRA again has not been able to put itself together to be able to reach out the way they have to reach out, then that is creating another problem.
Right.
And so we have to attack this thing head on and deal with the aspect of the GRA's work. That is education. Do the education, but also make sure that you move in and get them to pay the taxes.
So education and enforcement.
Yes.
Dr. Isaac Nyami, I want to thank you so much for your time with us. We've certainly learned quite a lot.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. Right, so listen, I want you to feel that you have the power, because you do. Okay, all of us in our own small way can help in the fight against corruption. So please call Corruption Watch on our hotline 055 22 00033 or send a WhatsApp to the same number if you have any information that you think will be useful to our work. Of course, Corruption Watch is brought to you by the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, Ghana Integrity Initiative, GII, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, GACC, Africa Center for International Law and Accountability, ASILA, and multimedia platforms Joy FM and Adom FM. The main sponsor, of course, is Danida. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. We're back after these.
Little drops of water. Kwame. Samsung Blue Tax Sales is back again. Wait, they come. Right now, we go to save more money. You say what? You listen to this on my phone. Oh, yes. Enjoy up to 30% discount on Samsung Blue Tax Sales. So get updated with your family. We have a wide range of Samsung products. Samsung UHD Flat TV, 50 inches, start at 3,999 Ghana cedis. What a discount. Our soundbar and tower, 2,799. For your food and drinks, top mount fridge, starting at 2,199. Grab your TWC fridge, plus a free shopping voucher. Samsung washing machines, 999 Ghana cedis. What more can we say? Great discount. Samsung Original. Valid from 6th September to 16th October.